It was 6 o'clock in the morning as Molly clicks off her alarm clock. After the past day, waking up was the last thing she wanted to do. But if she really needs to go to an interview for a new job, she had to. So she got out of bed and headed to the fridge in the kitchen to find herself a quick, careless breakfast. She found herself a thick slice of cake that she took home after eating out one night. She had absolutely nothing else to eat, so she just grabbed herself the slice of cake and drank out of a carton of milk. She continues to look at the ad for security at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. She then realizes about the fact that the ad states open interviews. They must need one that desperately, she thought to herself. Security positions aren't really offered by open interviews. After she had breakfast, she took her shower, got dressed, put on her cheap makeup, and made sure her hair was neat. Always had to look tidy when hoping to get hired for security. Then she put on her golden coat and black scarf and was on her way. The walk down the street sidewalks were somewhat relaxing. A small breeze blowing on an autumn mid-morning. The smell of the stream while crossing the small bridge, passing the strip malls and family-owned diners. Molly hadn't felt this relaxed for a long time, taking deep breaths that seem almost not human. Then she walks through a parking lot to a square building. Molly looks up at the sign, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Freddy Fazbear, huh? Molly sighs to herself. He's kind of cute, I guess. Well, here goes nothing. Then she pushes the door open with a creak. Inside the place felt a little unusual for Molly. Fun music playing, the smell of garlic and tomato sauce, and a slight stickiness to the floor. She waits by the hostess podium, where a redhead in uniform with a name tag reading Bianca awaits. Well, hello there, she says in a cheerful voice. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Table for One. Molly shakes her head. Is there a Mr. Fitzgerald here? Oh, are you here for the interview about security? Asked Bianca. Molly nods, a little disgusted of the cheerfulness of the hostess. Bianca points to the Pirate's Cove and says, See the hallway closest to the purple curtain? At the end of that hallway should be his office. Okay, said Molly. Let me grab your coat, hun, says Bianca as she grabs the coat from Molly's back, losing her balance. As Bianca walks to the coat hangers with her coat and scarf, Molly glared at her with disbelief and walks to that hallway. As she walks, she glances at the show stage where Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica performed, and noticing a slight odor in the room, believing it might have been a rotting slice of pizza that a child hid somewhere. Molly enters the hallway. It had a feeling of emptiness and mystery. She looked into each room she passes by. She felt that it was quite odd that there were no doors for any of the rooms. Then she finds herself standing in the opening of the manager's office. There was no door to knock on, so she knocks on the wall beside it. Always open, says an annoyed Scottish accent. Molly took only 2 steps in the room. The manager with the name plaque, Jeremy Fitzgerald, general manager, sitting at his desk reading the paper while resting his feet. Molly looks at him with silence. Jeremy then takes down his paper to see Molly. May I help you? He asked harshly. Yes, said Molly anxiously. My name is Molly Schmidt. I'm 27 years old. I have an honors degree in the... I don't need your whole history, Jeremy interrupts. Are you here for Notwatch? That's why I'm here, grins Molly. Hired, snaps Jeremy, as he gets back to reading his paper. Molly was slightly confused right on the spot. She was expecting an interview and a day or two before the confirmation that she had been hired. She was never hired as soon as she walked through the door before. Are you serious? She asked him. Do you want the job or not? Asked Jeremy with annoyance. Of course I do, said Molly. But what do I do when I start? Midnight tonight, answers Jeremy.
Come here at 6 o'clock. I'm going to give you a token and pizza on the house.
Wow, Molly said with disbelief. Thank you, sir.
Don't be so formal, Molly, says Jeremy. You're working for Freddy Fazbear, not the bloody president.
Molly was about to head out as Jeremy yells,
Wait!
Then he hands her over a stuffed Freddy that squeaks every time someone holds it. What's this? Asked Molly with disgust as she stares into its eyes.
It's stuffed Freddy, answers Jeremy. Every new knock girl gets one.
A look of confusion came across Molly's face. Thank you? Then she walks away.
Oh, God, Jeremy sighs to himself. You've made a piss-poor decision, lass.
Molly was back in the dining room. The animatronics were still playing their music. She just stood in place with disbelief. I got hired in this shitty place, she thought to herself. She looks at the plush Freddy as she was holding and smirked. It's better than nothing, I suppose. Then she heard what sounded like mortal breathing, having almost a mechanical sound. Molly took a quick glance at the Pirate's Cove it was coming from. Molly walks closer to see if she could figure out what or who that sound was coming from. Her hand reaches for the curtain, but before she could even touch the curtain, she heard, Yahoo! Molly quickly turns her head and sees Bianca, the hostess, waving and smiling. Molly then walks away from the Pirate's Cove to see what Bianca has to say to her. Foxy peeks out of the curtain to take a good look at their new night guard. She watches Molly's every step and the way she was talking to Bianca. Foxy studied her pretty good. Lassie, she whispers. Then hides away back in the cove. Many hours had passed, and Molly was on her 8th cup of coffee, preparing herself for her first ever night shift. She had the television on with some stupid show on, never anything good on for her. During commercial break, Molly paused, hearing a familiar voice. Molly walks to see what was on the television. Her jaw dropped. Oh my God. It was a commercial for Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where they had a cartoon Freddy jumping all over the screen, acting all cute and friendly. Molly glares at the commercial with disgust. So childish. But the part that really caught her attention was at the end of the commercial. She saw a quick millisecond of what happens to be the animatronic Freddy with his eyes glowing red and says in a mumble growl,
It's me.
Then the commercial was done. Molly stood in place with shock, wondering what the hell she just saw. Did she really see that, or is it the coffee getting to her head? She glances at the clock and sees that she has to get ready for her free dinner 6 hours before her shift begins. Molly comes back to the pizzeria in casual clothing, taking off her coat and putting it on the hanger. Bianca sees her and says, You must be the new night guard.
How did you guess? Grunts Molly.
Well, says Bianca, you were honestly the only one who applied, so your name is Molly, right? I think that's what he told me. Molly nods and sees Jeremy at the table near Pirate's Cove. He waved her over. Molly sat herself across from Jeremy. The way he was looking at her made her nervous. So, she said nervously, we meet again, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Just call me Jeremy, he said with annoyance. The one thing I can't stand is formality.
Okay, Molly said shaking.
And don't apologize,
Jeremy snapped. Bianca wasn't only the hostess, but she was also the waitress. So, what would Miss Molly like to eat? She asked with a smile. Not much, she answered. Just a salad.
No, you bloody won't have a salad, yelled Jeremy. This is a fucking pizzeria, you shit!
Molly glared at him with disbelief. Could he be worse than our last boss? A gluten-free veggie pizza? She asked.
Nope,
he answered. Wheat crust? Nope. Thin crust? Nope. Molly was getting a bit angry that Jeremy was dictating what she could order. then she had no choice but to order one of her guilty pleasures. Extra large veggie stuffed crust pizza with extra cheese. Molly glares at Jeremy, hoping for approval. For a moment, he took a moment, then nods his head. Bianca writes the order and walks away while giving Jeremy the stink eye. Then, out of nowhere, a fanfare filled up the whole room.
Oh, God,
grunts Jeremy.
Here come the earworms.
The animatronic show has begun. Freddy singing as Bonnie rocks her guitar, looking absolutely adorable, and Chica shakes her tail feathers. All of them were singing, dancing, and giving Freddy kisses. Oh, he's a pimp, Molly jokes. The show then finally ends after 20 minutes. Molly looks at Jeremy and says, "Thank God that's over."
Tell me about it,
he agrees. Then their pizza finally came, all hot and ready to eat. Molly pulls away a slice and starts eating it right away. Jeremy just watches her and thinks to himself, "Oh, Molly Schmidt.
Do you have any idea what you're up against tonight?"
Freddy then peeks from behind the stage and watches Molly as well.
"Oh, that's our new night guard,"
he says to himself.
My, what a beaut, Miss Molly Schmidt.
Hours had passed after eating pizza, playing games, and watching the same stupid show. It was about time that Molly prepares for her job. Jeremy hands over a button-down shirt with the word security printed on the back.
"This is your uniform,"
he tells her as she puts it on.
"It's the only thing the company could afford."
"Afford?" Molly asked him. "What do you mean by that?"
"The company went bankrupt after a certain incident,"
he answers. They start to walk down the hallway to get to the office. Molly sees the room with no doors. "Is that why there are no doors?" she asked. Jeremy shook his head.
"Even when I was a night guard, there were no doors."
Molly looked at him with surprise. "You used to be night guard," Jeremy sighs.
"Long ago. But that's not important right now."
Jeremy leads Molly to this one room.
"Her office?"
Molly looks around. A school desk and chair, cobwebs, posters, children's drawings, and old broken monitors. She points at the monitors and looks at Jeremy with confusion. Then he hands her over a tablet. Molly looks at the tablet and sees one of the cameras. Jeremy walks away and says,
"Good luck on your first night."
"Hey!" Molly panics. "What the fuck am I supposed to do?"